right, man, we are back. Let me start off by saying welcome back, everybody, to the Misunderstood Podcast, the return to the Misunderstood Podcast. New and improved. We are very, very excited. We got a new production crew that is unbelievable. In the right time, we'll introduce them, but we're going to keep them a secret for a while so we could just, so we could hoard all the good work from everybody else. I don't want to tell anybody who.
I think we definitely introduced them last podcast.
Oh, did we? Did we show you guys though? We didn't show you guys though. Yeah, we just said who they were. I'm saying, like, can we get you guys some push ices?
What is that?
Let's get some push ice masks. So they have the masks on the background. So when we go to them, they both have just all you see is their eyes. So funny. Oh man, we gotta do that. Come back, Drew in a push ice tea is hilarious. But yeah, welcome back. This is our second newly produced episode. We're very, very excited, and yeah, what's going on, G? What's good with you? How you doing?
I'm good. I had softball yesterday.
Okay.
It was fun. Yep. I'm getting old for sure, but I still got it.
Yeah. Father time is a motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
It really is, man. It's just I told you this the other day. I was driving and I took a left turn from the right side, and I did a spin around the wheel, and I popped something in my shoulder. I'm just like, how do I get hurt driving? Like nothing happened, and then I woke up the other day and something was sore. I can't even remember at this point so often. I'm just like, damn, how do I get hurt sleep? How do you get hurt sleeping? The older you get, though, it just creeps up on you. But
yeah.
But yeah, that's cool, man. That's awesome. That's awesome.
So
yeah, today marks my 4th year of being clean, not sober, clean. So I'm very, very proud of that. I think that's really, really cool. And we should get into a little bit. I know you have experiences with addiction in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Not many people know that I've personally struggled with addiction in my life. And I wanted to open the floor to you. So any questions that I was thinking about this last night, any questions that you might have had about addiction that you thought growing up that you never had a chance to ask somebody that now you know someone who, obviously you have people in your family, but I'm saying like someone from this perspective. I'm curious as to like what you think addiction is and like, what you think, I went through.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've thought about addiction a lot because my mother, was addicted. I have other people in my family that are addicted to other things, but I think when I was younger, I thought a lot about how selfish that person was and like how could they do this to me? How could they be thinking like, why, like, how could they not put me at the top of their brain? You know what I mean? Like as a child,
That's
right?
selfish.
Yes.
No, I'm just kidding.
So I guess
edit that out.
I guess I'm curious more so of like, what you, when you were in your addiction, right? Like what are you thinking about? Like what are your top like thoughts in your head? Like what do you actually I don't know, because like as a stepmom now and a future mother, right? I find it very difficult to connect with somebody that could potentially just not think about their kid,
Mm-hmm.
Or I know you don't have kids, but like just in general, like what, when you were deep in your addiction, like what were your like top thoughts?
I'll give you my top 5 thoughts.
Okay.
Percocets, and then Percocets. I was gonna think of like maybe like another type of like drug, but it's just that's. I mean, I'm telling you right now, like, and you don't realize this like when you're in it, right? You think that nobody knows.
Oh, I've experienced that for sure. Yeah.
So like, I'm living when you're in it, you think that you're the only person who knows. Everyone else is oblivious. You're outsmarting everybody. Mm-hmm. Right. And like you think, but at the end of the day, all you like towards the end, like the last like 2 or 3 months for me, like all I was thinking about was getting high. I didn't care about, I wasn't thinking about nothing else. Like I was reaching out to people asking for money, like just people that I've taken care of, like taking advantage of the fact that I helped them and just coming back and just trying to like, not even caring about like as a grown man, asking another grown man for $100, like what that looks like I'm not even thinking that at the time. I'm not even thinking like, why would you? Because right now, if anybody asks me for $100 and then cash, right? Like I need it right now. I need it today. Like, can you give me $100 by the end of today? Right? If someone says it to me, I'd be like, what? What do you need $100 today? Like, what do you know what I'm saying? Like, and like, again, at the time, I just didn't even think about what that looked like. I was just trying to get high and get away from my thoughts.
Yeah.
Looking back on it, again, I didn't know any of this at the time. You know, hindsight's always 20/20. But at the time, all I wanted was everybody to leave me alone. Like that's really, really what I wanted, right? You know what I'm saying? Like I had just, like I feel like again, this is selfish, right? But at the time, like I had been pulled in so many different directions. I had always said I was a yes man for everybody, never saying no, always helping everybody else, I was getting my phone blowing up in this direction, that direction, this direction. And so I was just like, it was almost like the outside world was screams. And then when I went into the room and I would sniff Percocets, everything went away and it was quiet. And I could just focus on watching TV. I could focus on that actual show, and my mind wasn't just racing, whether it be like about my past or, you know, just you know, not wanting to play basketball anymore and like fighting those demons, like thinking about like what my identity was, because I've been playing ball since I was 5 years old. So like not wanting to face that, like not wanting to work. Like there were so many things that, again, not, you know, hindsight's always 20/20, but at the time I just wanted to, like, I remember the very first time I did a half of a perk 30. The very first time, and I crushed it up and I sniffed it, and if I showed you how much it was a tiny amount. A perk 30 is about the size of a grain of rice, man, a little bit bigger than a grain of rice, you know, and it's tiny. And I remember like I did a quarter of a perk 30, and I sniffed it, and I was like, I was like, wow, like this is like, that's all you have to do to get. I was high out of my mind, like nodding out. Like just in my room with a couple of my friends and my girlfriend at the time, and I was just sitting there. I was just like, oh my God, like I wasn't worried about nothing.
Like everything just slowed down.
Everything just slowed down, and it was a complete euphoric. Like again, I'm not kidding. I swear, my mind was like, like this is too good. This is too good. And then so a month, 2 months, I'm taking a quarter of a perk 30. All of a sudden you go to a half, right? Then you say, hey, let me see what one does for me. Let me see and everybody who has done drugs before or who has struggled with addiction understands exactly what I'm saying right now, because it doesn't start off like that.
Yeah. So like, I wanted to ask you, like, what, so yeah, okay. You tried the first time you tried it, but like, what do you think led to that? I know you said that you had a lot of thoughts, like you were in the NBA, your mind was racing, everyone was pulling you in different directions, but like, is that what you think drove you to that? Like, what is...
I just think that, I mean, it was that, along with like, I mean, growing up, I had suffered from really bad inner and outer ear infections, right? So I had knew what Percocets and Vicodins was since I was like 12 years old. I was getting them because that was the only thing that could get the pain away at the time. Like
So you were just taking them like prescribed?
Yeah, I would go to the hospital. Yeah. Like I wouldn't be able to sleep because I would get horrible infections in my ears. And I got surgery. I got my tubes out like 3 or 4 times. I got tubes in my ears 3 or 4 times. I got my tonsils removed to try to help some of the flow or whatever. I got my adenoids taken out. I still sound like I'm stuffed up, as everyone could tell. Like I'm still all messed up in there. But so like I would get them prescribed, and then I would always just have them, right? And like I don't want to make it seem like I would just have them. I would just have extra ones. I would take them occasionally. But when they were gone and you're a kid, that's it. You're gone. You're not looking to get any more. Right. You're not trying to read somebody, where can I get them? They're gone. Oh man, it's just like a end of a M&M bag. That's it. There's no more. You know what I'm saying? And then it just as I got older, so then I just remember the first time I bought them on the street. There was just like, I got Percocet 10s, and I got a whole bag full of them, and it was just like I was probably like 200 on the street, 200 of them. So I'm just like, yeah, these are just like, you get them from a doctor, right? People are just trying to make them extra money on the street or whatever. It's like, in my mind, it wasn't a drug. Like, it wasn't like heroin. It wasn't like crack. It wasn't like any of those serious drugs. It was a prescribed drug. But in reality, it was heroin. Like, that's what it's legal. It's legalized heroin. Like, that's exactly what it is. And then later it developed. I was doing fentanyl, and when I say doing fentanyl, I wasn't hitting the dealer up saying, hey, you got any fentanyl? It was just like, he gave me Percocets. I know how real Percocets crush. And again, anybody who's a former drug addict, and it has crushed Percocets, they know exactly what I'm talking about right now. They like a regular Percocet. It's embarrassing that I know this, but it's the truth. With crushed soft, these things will crunch like a right. So I knew right away that it was something was off, and that's why I overdosed twice. I overdosed twice on those. But I think, so to answer your question, to kind of circle back around, I think it was just a slow drip almost, right? And then when I actually was on my own, and I was out and I was like living in California and I was really on my own, able to do whatever I want with no one telling me what to do. Then it was like, I was buying Percocets, I was buying Xanax, I was just buying stuff. Again, all these things are similar in the sense that they make you just, not stress out, not worry, not have to think about anything else but a TV show in front of you, or again, it's extremely selfish. But what it is like, it's not, it's the for me, it was never like, I was never like saying like fuck anybody. I was just being selfish. You know what I'm saying? I was just and that in doing that, it was saying fuck everybody, right? Because I wasn't a productive human in society. I was just rotting away and just literally sitting in a room towards
That was towards the end, though, right?
Yeah, towards the end.
Because weren't you like playing still at one point?
Yeah. So at Maryland, I don't even know if anybody really knows this, but I would get Percocets like occasionally from whoever. I'm not gonna talk about who I got it from, right? Like that doesn't matter. But I would take them throughout, like night before games, like in hotel rooms.
Like orally or like
orally. At that time,
Okay.
I never ever sniffed them until like my mid 20s. Like I never even, matter of fact, I was probably I probably was 25, and the first time I sniffed it was when I was with one of my boys, and I wouldn't even think to sniff it, and he was just like, it was like, don't take the whole thing, they kind of grew me on how to do it the right way, and I forgot where I was going with that.
So we were just talking about like you were playing.
Yeah. So I was what you would consider a functioning drug addict, right? Like I was functioning. I was for the longest until the end when I was like really just like off the wall. So it was really bad. But for the majority of the time I was doing it, like I would go play basketball, and when I would play, I would stop. Like you know what I'm saying. At Maryland, it wasn't. I just didn't get. I knew it was on my system like 2 or 3 days, but I didn't. It was. I wasn't worried about like getting drug tested for it. I don't know why. Maybe I was just bugging, but I just didn't. I never even really. And I would take it like every once in a while. Like it wasn't something where I was like, no, I'm not. I would just, anytime it was around, I would just take it. Like because I had been taking it for so long, I would grab him.
Well, because you went to Maryland for how many years?
2 years.
Okay, then you got drafted. Right?
Yep, I got drafted in 2011 by the Nets, and then there was a lockout year. So like that lockout, that gap in the lockout. So I was home. I was in Torrington. I'm drafted in the NBA, but the NBA is locked out. So that gap right there was tough.
Well, during your time with the Nets, like were you using?
No,
I
wasn't.
Okay.
I wasn't. Yeah. So there was like in the off season. Yeah. So not during the year. Not during the year with the Nets. I got traded to the Hawks. Right. I go home for a little bit, but I drove down to Atlanta in my car, and I had Percocets with me, like in the car with me. Like you know what I'm saying. And shout out to the NBA Players Association, but they pulled me aside, and a couple of guys there. One of them being Cliff Robinson, unbelievable dude. They pulled me aside and they were like, listen, man, like, like I had failed a drug test in the NBA. I had failed for weed. And it was like, I got fined like $20,000 and you had to go through the NBA drug program. So that's how it starts. Right. So I went to the drug program and they don't, at that time, they don't know that I'm taking Percocets while I'm smoking weed at the same time. But one time they called me into a meeting. And what it is it's all about your levels, right? So I started my levels were so high, and they're supposed to go down every time you go back, and until they're at zero, right? So at one of these times, my levels either went up or didn't stay the same. Didn't make sense. I was still smoking, right? Yeah. So Cliff Robinson, another gentleman, I can't remember his name right now. There were three former NBA players, and one of them, not the UConn Cliff Robinson, but another Cliff Robinson who's in the NBA. They sat me down, and I just started breaking down. I started crying, and they didn't even know that I was like, I had just took a Percocet that morning. Like I was still high at that meeting. Like they had no clue, and I didn't even tell them that. They could just tell that I just got traded to the Hawks, right? So I was with the Nets. I got traded down to the Hawks. I'm in Atlanta by myself, to a team that really didn't like kind of I could just tell they just didn't really want me. It wasn't part of their plan. They didn't draft me. I was just part of a trade, and that's how I felt anyway. And so I was in a real tough place to the point where I called my agent, and I was like, listen, I don't want to play. I want to take some time off. Now I had just played 1 year in the NBA. My dreams can come true. But I literally called my agent and it was like, look, and then he negotiated a $500,000 buyout that included my fines for failing the drug test. So I got a $500,000, a little bit less, with taxes, all that stuff. I got money like drip to me, and I moved to California.
Okay.
So I came home for like a little bit. I came home from Atlanta after they bought my contract out. And then again, I went to Connecticut, and then I moved to California, and I was just in that. I was just running from my problems, getting high in California. California, smoking every day, going to the beach, just living the life of like, living a non-structured, non-longevity mindset life of just like day to day, going to parties in Hollywood, like the things that you would think that I'm saying right now, you'd be like, what, you're in LA, you're doing, like, yeah, for the first 2 months it was unbelievable. It was so fun, and we were when I have Ant on the podcast, we have crazy stories that we could tell about California, but it just dried out. Like at a certain amount of time, it's like you do things for a certain amount of time every single day, all day. It's not a vacation anymore. It becomes like a treadmill type of lifestyle, And I was getting drugs every day. Now, a lot of people, like when they think about like a drug addict. I mean, when I think about a drug addict, I think about like a fiend or like someone who like is itching and scratching or whatever. But I towards the end, like the last couple of weeks, that's how it was for me, right? But through my process, I'm an extremely resourceful person, and I treat people well, right? So I would always overpay my plug, or I would always like I had great relationships, so like I was really enabling myself, right? But they would just get, I wouldn't have to pay for anything. You know what I'm saying? And like I would never. I remember at one point in California, I would go to this guy's house, and I would have an order, like I would have like a shopping, like a list of stuff that I wanted. And I'll give him the stuff. I'm not kidding. Like a damn prescription. I'll just give him the piece of paper, the stuff that I wanted. He would go in his house. He'd get everything. It'd be Xanax, Percocets, weed, lean, like everything you could see. It was this white kid's house. He lived on a bluff in California. So in his backyard, you just see the whole view of California in his backyard, right? And it's a skinny white kid. I'm not gonna mention his name. Great dude. But just someone you would never expect have access to everything, right? And then when I would pay him once a month, I would pay him extra $500. I'll pay him an extra, like, you know what I'm saying? Him. Yeah. Like, and I'm like giving him, so it would never, so when I was in California, and let's say I'm waiting for a check or I don't have any money, I'll just go to his house.
You basically already paid.
Yeah. And he would just give me whatever I wanted, everything I wanted. And so imagine, like, just having unlimited supplies of, like, it wasn't like you see in the movies where it's like, please, man, I need a fix. Please give me $10. Like, it was never. Now, at the end, I was like, it was bad. I was anything I could, ask people for money, trying to get whatever. And that's why I kind of just, it fizzled away, because it was just like, I'm turning into one of the movie characters. For real. It was bad. You saw me towards the end. It was bad, like compared to how I am now. When you saw me at the couch, I'm sure. Yeah,
I remember that one time we came to the house, and what was the house that you guys used to live at?
Yorkshire, probably.
Yeah, and I hadn't seen you for months, and then you came out of the back, and I was in the living room, and I thought you were your dad for a second, because like how thin you were.
Oh yeah.
You had like a beanie on, and then you just looked completely different, and I was like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
But I thought you were dead. Like I thought
those were the bad days.
I just didn't recognize you because you were like extremely thin. So I was like, oh man, this is bad. And then I don't even know how, like what happened, but you did start to like, change, and then that's how we kind of like got you back out to this side of the state.
Yeah, so. Yeah. I mean how that happened was it was August 3rd, 2020. And the reason why I say it's August 3rd, August 4th is because I bought Percocets August 2nd. And I dripped them down. I knew I was going to like get very sick. So like those next 2 days, I like weaned myself and I had perk 15s, green perk 15s, and I wasn't even sniffing anymore. I was popping them. Like I was like taking, I was like, so I was just like, again, in my mind,
like
doing better, right?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Wean yourself off.
Yeah,
though?
because
like,
I knew I would have got like real sick if I just like cut, right? And then I had a weed pen, so I think I had like 6 or 8 perk 15s, and then I had when I was done, I was done. So the fourth probably was when it was out of my like I wasn't high anymore. Like I wasn't like, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not kidding. I wasn't even high in the third. Wasn't even high anymore on all those, on all that. I was just doing it just to not get sick. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't even getting high. It wasn't even. That's when I'm just. And then my parents came back from a country club, and then I'm overdosing on the floor. So there's things that led to me like wanting to stop. I decided to stop. You know, against no one believes me. Which why the fuck would you? I was just lying, and I was just a piece of shit. And so my sister's best friend dies. You know, like literally
like a week later. Right?
Yeah, it was like you know, I believe she passed away on the 10th, and I had stopped, you know, 10th or 11th, right around that. She literally overdosed on fentanyl. Last conversation her and I have, rest in peace, Jocelyn Beecher, unbelievable person. You know, she has a daughter, my sister's best friends, and I don't think that the name, the reason why I mentioned her name, because I think that her name should live on forever. And I think that it's a message that, you know, she was an awesome person. I hung out with her multiple times. She came out when I played with the Nets, she came out and stayed with me and my sister for a couple of days. You know, great person. Just got caught up in the world and never, you know, did it. You know, I'm sure got the rope tossed to her but never grabbed it. You understand what I'm saying? So, but that had happened, and that just shocked me. My sister came over to where I was staying on Yorkshire, and we were sitting in the garage. We were smoking weed, and smoking a joint or something. And she was like, "Jordan, promise me you won't do this shit anymore." I was like, "I promise, I won't. I'm done." And now, you know, I was already done. You know what I mean? And this was kind of like the icing on the cake, but I kept that promise. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that was, you know, I tell people this, you know, anybody right now who's struggling through addiction, who's like deep in addiction, I could just take you back to my last couple of days, right? So I was like that first day when I actually decided to stop, I swear to God, I could not see past that night. As far as me being able to make it like without getting drugs, right? So I'll look at I tried to like just in my mind, like I remember I was sitting out back and I was just like, damn, when is September 1st? Like how many days away is that? And it was just like 24 days. I was like, fuck, 24 days? I'm trying to get past these next 24 minutes right now. Like I'm just sitting there, I'm just like, this is, you know, excuse me, my dad would talk to me. My dad struggled with addiction with Percocets, and at that time he was 5 years clean, right? And trying to sit there and explain to me and talk to, like, listen, I'm like, how did he cold turkey? He didn't go to any type of situation. And he was like, I just was like, how, you know, how could you do that, man? It's impossible. Like I get sick if I don't have it for 4 hours. How am I going to be able to get through this, man? Like how am I going to be able to, but I slowly just started getting up and developing a routine, right? So, like, let me just go back a little bit. Anybody who is struggling with addiction, it's very, very possible to stop right now. I'm looking at the fan. It's very, very possible to stop right now. I mean, it's like in your mind, you may think that you're gonna die, or you know, any reason you're thinking of is a selfish reason. And if you want to truly help the people that you love, don't do it for yourself. You know, yes, obviously do it for yourself. Take that back. Do it for yourself, right? But like, if you truly do care about the people that you say you care about, then you're not gonna die. You're not gonna, you're not gonna end up in the hospital. Whatever you think that is gonna happen by you stopping, I'm telling you, the light. The light at the end of the tunnel is there, man. It's there. You have to take that leap. And when I took that leap, it was one of the hardest decisions I ever made in my life, right? Because I was in it. I was deep in it. But when I decided to make that decision and slowly started to progress, whether it be just going for, I mean, you can ask my family. I was going from telephone pole to telephone pole just to sweat a little bit. And I was sending them in the group chat, just me getting up and just doing something. Like, just start with one day at a time. that's my best advice, man, because I'm telling you, I sat there and I thought of like, oh my God, 5 years, a year, 2 years, and I was like, you know what, man, I'm just gonna be clean today. You know, I'm gonna go today. I'm gonna start off today, and I'm gonna just until, and if you have to, just do it for the next 10 minutes. Take yourself to the next 10 minutes, and then get yourself to the 10 minutes after that. And before you know it, you're going to the next hour. And then you're going to the next, and then you look back and it's like, damn, it's been a half a day. And that's the same technique you use, because now in my life, the way I look at it is it's like, I can't even believe how I was acting. Like how I was so unproductive, how I was helping nobody, how I was hurting people, the people closest to me. And that's all you're doing, right? That's all you think. I'm telling you you think that nobody knows, everybody knows. If you're on drugs right now and you think nobody knows, and you think you're functioning, and you think that you're able to, I'm able to, I got that thing beat. I got it under control. You don't. I'm telling you right now, you don't. And all it takes is one day, man. One day, one decision, 1 minute. And since I've started making those decisions, my life has dictated where I'm supposed to. My life has dictated that, right? So everything has started to fall into place almost overnight when I started making those type of decisions. I started getting better people around me. I started, people started taking me seriously. People started coming to me for advice, because before I didn't give a shit. I wouldn't even talk to people. I was only a shell of my true self.
Yeah.
I was just literally just a shell. And I just want people, man, who are deep in it to know that it's hard as shit. It's hard, man, but it's worth it. You could change a lot of people, and you could change,
sure.
like, and once you hit the bottom, like, I saw a great quote the other day, but it was basically just about like, only the most successful people in the world basically have suffered, and they have to know what that suffering is to really appreciate, the top, or the joy in life.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just grateful. I'm just really, really grateful, man. I think it was really cool that we were able to film. Like, what are the chances of this being on the day that 4 years, and I reflect back on myself. I know I'm rambling, but I reflect back on myself, sitting on that back porch. Like, right now, I can see myself sitting on the back porch. I had a Black and Mild in my hands. Insane. I was smoking Black and Mild, and I'm sitting there, and I'm just like, damn, how many days until, how many days till, the first of the first of September, and it was just like, man, I'm not gonna make it. I can't do this.
That's been 4 years now.
It's been 4 years. Like, it's been 4 years, and like, you can do it, man. Addiction is nothing.
So I'm just thinking about what you said earlier about how when you started, that your mind was just going and you couldn't really control it, and like, not control it, I guess, but like, there were just so many things happening and you felt like out of control. And like, when you took the Percocet, like, it like slowed everything down. Like, I kind of can relate to that, because I haven't, I'm actually scared shitless to try any drugs, because addiction runs in my family so deep that I just know that if I like, literally, like, this thing is like making me like zooted, right? So like, I just haven't done that, because I've seen it like secondhand. Like, I'm the child of an addict, right? So it's just interesting though, because the same type of things that you were describing happen in my brain too. Like, I'm like constantly just going, and I just feel like I'm getting pulled in different directions, and I can't slow it down. But like, what has helped me personally, and I think that has helped you too, because I see you do it all the time now, is like meditating, right? So what is the difference between your brain now compared to what it was before you like got into drugs?
Yeah, I think that I mean, this is my opinion. I think I just control my thoughts now, right? I'm in more of control of my thoughts, right? So, before,
like, you're aware of them?
Yeah, I'm aware of them, and I'm able to veer them. I'm able to veer my thoughts into a positive direction. That would, like, right now, me thinking about like sniffing a Percocet is almost sickening, because like, it's nothing. It's just like, I got shit to do today. Yeah. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, like, it just doesn't make, like, to me, it's just my mindset is I mean, does that answer your question?
Different mindset, like different.
Yeah. So and I used other. At that time, I didn't even. If you would told me to meditate, if you would told me to meditate back in those times, I'd be like, what the.
Yeah.
You know, but now my mind is in a different place. I think I'm more mature. Mentally, I'm just like socially, I'm just not physically. I gotta get in better shape, but I'm just a lot more mature with my thoughts now. As far as like, I genuinely believe I'm able to control my thoughts, and what I think about, more so and even better, is I can control what not to think about. And I think that before I couldn't control anything, so I was just trying to please this person. I knew I had practice there. I knew I had to be out here. I knew I had a contract over here I had to oblige by. Like I was just getting like, I was just everywhere, and I wasn't able to.
Yeah,
control
you were getting
anything.
controlled.
Yeah, which what maturity is, and you see these guys in the league. Like looking back, I look at some of these guys who I was with, in the NBA draft process, and those guys had that maturity. You could see that they were able to control their thoughts. I was 10 years old, as far as dealing with that type of shit, and my maturity as far as being able to deal with press and all that other shit. Even though we were trained, I wasn't ready for it. When you saw some of these other guys, they were mentally fortified. As far as like Kawhi Leonard was one of the most mentally fortified people I've ever met in my entire life. And he's been in the league for 13, 14 years, all-star, NBA champion. I mean, I just saw that I could just see his maturity level at that age. And, I just wasn't there, man. I was immature and selfish. And I wanted everyone to leave me the fuck alone. Like, and it's funny because it's I'm the opposite in a sense now, where like I want to help as many people as possible. I know when to shut it off, and I know how to separate myself. I know how to take care of myself now, put myself before certain other things. But again, before I was just doing practice this, and it was just building up resentment I didn't even know I was building up. So finally I would just be like, I'm not doing shit. No, I'm staying here and I'm getting high. I didn't say that out loud, but I was just like, I'm not answering nobody. I'm not going to the gym today. I'm not, I don't have to. It was my first time since I was 5 years old.
I think that's powerful too, to think about like you were doing things that you didn't want to do, and you started building resentment up to yourself. Yeah. Yep. So like that.
Yep.
Like I think that a lot of people go through that, even if they're not necessarily like doing drugs, but some people go through or do things that are not healthy for them because of or surround themselves with people that are not healthy because they're not being their true authentic self. We talked about that with the boys that were here, right? So like they were talking about, we don't have that footage right now, but
shout out to Tony and Charles. Matter of fact, this is a really good segue. You see this? You saw I was rocking it today?
I didn't. Now I notice it. Yeah.
Got a little pitch stains there, but who cares? Shout out to my boys Tony and Cho. Free my boy Tony. They got this merch coming out. We could put a link in the description or something for their merch. But check this out, man. This is really awesome. A couple of young kids. We had them on the podcast. The footage got lost somewhere. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna have them on again.
Yep.
And we'll have Trell on sooner than Tony. Then we'll have both of them on again. But great kids, entrepreneurs. But anyway, go ahead.
So I guess my point was like, if you are making decisions not aligned with your authentic self, and like you might not even know what that means, like your authentic self, especially at a young age, because like I know for damn sure I didn't.
Yeah.
It took me a while to like really like understand the person that I wanted to be, and like my core values and just how I want to be like living this life, right? So you might not know that, but regardless, like if you're making decisions that are completely against your being, it's going to have some type of effect on you.
Yeah, like how do you align yourself to something that you don't even know what you're aligning yet. You don't even know yourself.
Yep.
Like how are you making alignments of who you are when you don't even know who you are yet?
Yeah.
And I was 30 years old. I was 30 years old. Maybe
last few years for me it was like really when I started to get it.
Yeah, and you could not only can you walk into a room and you could feel other people feeling your presence, right? Mm-hmm. but you can see other people walk into a room and feel their energy immediately.
It's so funny because like we'll meet with somebody, like you and I, and we'll meet with somebody, and we'll just look at each other and
we
it's
just
like
we know it's so
it's like either good or it's like, oh fuck,
yeah,
you know what I mean? So
because it's only because like we've taken the time to like think about our thoughts, right? If that makes sense, like think about what we're thinking about, why we're thinking about it, what it is. Like I told you the other day, like I got worked up coming into the gym, right? I don't really get worked up. Like I don't get upset, I don't get mad, I don't get upset. But I was just worked up coming to the gym, and I caught myself. Like I legitimately caught myself and like switched my thoughts back around and like brought myself back to who I am. You know what I'm saying? And
it gets me sometimes. Like the other day when I was like freaking out. I was like after I let it out, I was like in my head, I'm like, fuck, I definitely like let my thoughts just spiral and just was like not in control. And But I recognized that, and I was like, okay, so then.
But most people do not.
Yeah.
Throughout their whole life. Like that's the part that was hard for me to understand, because especially even taking back to like when I was playing and stuff, like, and then I expected people to be like me. Everyone, if I gave, you give. If we gave, you know, everyone this. I expect everyone, but it's like it was the hardest part for me to understand that, like, number one, a lot of people are idiots. A lot of people are assholes, and most people want something from you, right? Like most people need that satisfaction of like, you know, the give and take or whatever it is. Like they just got to get a pound of something. They need it, and like once I figured that shit out, and I don't expect everyone to believe this, or I'm not trying to sell anything here. So I'm not trying to. This is truly how I feel. But once I figured out that like I don't need anything from anybody, and I'll get it myself, and I genuinely want to help people. Like once I figured that out, that like I'm telling you, I said this probably 1,000 times, but the whole world slowed down for me. Like once I stopped trying to get things out of either a conversation or just anything, and I just kind of took a step back and like just like had authentic conversations with people and just like listen to what they're, and again, most people don't do that. Excuse me. So it's a skill that I could take advantage of, and it could help us in the business world. Yeah. And you know what I'm saying? To where like most people, when they're having a conversation, they need to get something out of it. They need to. What I mean by that is like, you know, someone comes in here and they want to buy a membership, right? And online, you know, it said one thing, but how our prices are here and different. You know, that person could have just had four bad days in a row and just want to win this one conversation. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And just want to have even if we're right and they're wrong, like I'm in the morning when they can't do the thing, I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry, that thing's on the fritz, dude. That thing's broken. Sorry, and I go and do it for them. It's not. Yeah. Right. But like some people just need that, and if you're able to somehow just figure that out, man, and just like in most things, you're gonna go far in life, man. You know, because like it's so easy. Because again, everyone wants something, and like, and if you have that confidence to be like, no, I don't need nothing from you, or you, I'll get it myself. Like, and you're able to walk into a room like that, and then people feel that. Like when people feel that shit. Like you walk into a room, and like you can either be, oh shit, this motherfucker's in here, man. What's he want? What's he need? Right? Or you can walk into the room like, oh shit, Jay Will's here. What up, man? Yeah, like, exactly. I don't want nothing from nobody. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's a huge difference. And it's the same when someone walks into the gym and sees us too. Yeah. Right? It's like, oh shit, what I do? Did Gina mad at me? Or oh shit, Jordan. Like when the kids walking, oh shit. Is Jordan? What did I do? You know, or if we come in, like, you know what I mean? It's like that presence that you have with people. It travels, man, and it's a really, really powerful skill to have, and I think that comes along with me learning who I am as a person, because you can't do that type of shit if you're not confident enough to do it. And not need anything from anybody. Like, it comes from within, and like I think when I was younger that wasn't the case. I think that I was. From being like in foster care and stuff, I felt like I needed people to like want me, or like just I had to be around somebody constantly. I couldn't sit still, you know what I mean? And I specifically remember that because when I was living with one family, I had a conversation with the dad that lived there, and he's like, do you ever just like chill out and just sit down? And I'm like, no. Like I would be going out to the club at I think it was my first year of college, but I was home for the summer. I'd be going out to the club every single weekend in New Haven,
just because I couldn't fucking just sit there and just chill out. And I was so uncomfortable with myself because I didn't know myself. And I was just like, you know, I had all those demons and like not understanding like addiction like I do now, and like not understanding like the trauma that my mom went through, that my grandma went through, and like now understanding all that from the other side. It's like, oh, I'm not saying I made it right. I'm not saying that, you know, I'm okay with it, because I'm not. But what I am saying is that I understand, and I am going to stop that moving forward. Like, I'm not going to let my children be affected by the trauma that was placed upon me. You know what I mean? And I struggle with that too. Like, I have a stepdaughter, right? She triggers the shit out of me. She triggers me so bad because this girl is treated like a fucking princess, and like I would never have it any other way. Like, truly, like it's awesome.
But Ash is tough on her too.
Ash is tough on her.
You never talk about that. You only like when she's giving her a pound of flesh.
That is true.
You're never like you're just like, yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you never like, oh, come on, Ashley, take it back, right?
I mean, I have.
But when it comes, but it's like when she's like getting praised, it like bothers you. So it's not. So like, I don't want to say that.
So no. So I know what you're saying. So like if for some reason, like, say like Ashley's in a bad mood and my stepdaughter does something wrong and Ashley does reprimand her, if it's fair, then I usually don't say anything. But if it's like because Ashley's in a bad mood, then I'm like, hey, all right, she's fine. But like, she'll do that to me too. Like, if I'm bothered by something else, like my fuse is shorter, right? But I'd say maybe like 70% of the time, I'm just throwing that out there, nothing's wrong, and something will happen, and I'm just triggered by something, right? So
I'll bring up. I don't want. I'm not cutting you off, but the one thing that I notice with it is you'll be like, what we always say with her is, she's spoiled, and when I was 4, that's your first thing. When I was 4, I had to, and I was just like, you can't.
I know.
She has no
but
clue
I'm learning
what it's
that.
like when you were 4.
I know.
And it's double because she didn't raise you.
Yeah.
Right? It wasn't her fault that like. And then on top of that, why would you want her to be anything close to when you're 4? Like, you know.
You're completely right, and like that's what I've been realizing. I'm like, wow. Like, there'd be times like, I'm like, why do I give a shit if she's like. Why am I like in my head? Like I'm literally battling in my head.
Why is she pissing me off so much?
Why is she pissing me off? But it's like, it's because I'm just I'm triggered, and like I'm just working through that, and I'm learning. You know what I mean? So it's just so interesting to like have to. I don't know. It's just,
and she's a little.
I wonder
shit.
if other parents go.
And Kendra, I mean Kendra, and I won't say her name, but and she's a little shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And she's dope.
Yeah,
right?
she's a really
dope.
Good kid.
She's so smart. Yeah. She's gonna be a footer, I think, as we play basketball. But we'll get into that later. But she's so smart, and she's like her. She's a splitting image of her mom.
Literally twins.
You know what I'm saying? And she knows, just like her mom, how to push your buttons, and exactly what to say, and what to do, and how to do it to push your buttons. So it's like it's.
I like. I'm grateful in general, but like I'm even more grateful because like I am learning a lot about myself as a parent figure, like more than I thought that I even knew I needed to know.
Yeah,
you know what I
mean? This journey for me, like cleaning up, has helped me help people like you, right? Because I'm always working on myself, trying to like, and in turn helping myself. It's helped because you see I'm trying to kind of have that trickle off onto you a little bit.
You definitely help calm me down when I'm spazzing out. So like.
I just try to put things into perspective.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's all I try to do. Like, I hate sometimes the way I talk because, like, I don't like people talking to me like that. Like, I don't like people, like, trying to convince me of shit or trying to make it, like, a convincing tone or, like, this and that. But, like, I just want to put things into perspective as far as we came in here with nothing. And now we own the whole shit. So, like, at the end of the day, it's going to work out, man. Like, all that stressing you did before, if you wouldn't have done any of it, we still would be here right now.
Oh. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But or you could keep stressing, but shit is gonna like I was talking just in general, right? You'll know what I mean when I'm talking about this, right? But in the future, we're gonna wanna be involved in real estate, right? Across the United States, not just in one place, everywhere. We wanna have a multi-million-dollar real estate entity that's involved, right? Now, you're gonna have a tenant living in a spot in California in one of your properties, right? They keep leaving trash outside. All right, they keep leaving trash outside of that apartment complex. Now, there's animals outside. That apartment complex happens to be in the middle of the woods, right? And they put trash outside, and the building, they keep complaining that they keep leaving trash outside. You're in Connecticut at a beach house, right? Are you going to be? Is it going to bother you, ruin your day that person keeps putting trash outside?
No. I will not let it at that point.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's the
I know what you mean. It's
that's
like
the mindset that I have in general.
Yeah.
Let's just say with everything. It's like I'm not gonna worry about some dirty people putting their trash outside because that's nothing to do. I'm still getting paid. You know what I'm saying? And eventually we'll either we get a new tenant or and we'll just move on. That's all. That's how it works. It's not like so to me, and that you could take that into life in general. Like there are so many assholes leaving garbage outside throughout your day or throughout your life, right? And so I have chosen to just ignore them, pick up the trash, and then move on. Because at the end of the day, we're getting them checks, and we'll be on vacation and chilling, and they'll be still dirty, trashy people. I think that was pretty good. You know where I'm going, right, G?
Yeah, 100%.
You feel me on that one.
Yeah.
So, and that's just very general. That's extremely general. That's just, in general, because we do want to be involved in that type of, so I want to help with you and your mindset. Just understand that it's like, don't worry about California.
I think I have a more so like issue with someone that's putting trash outside and then telling others that I'm putting the trash outside. That's like the kicker.
Are you?
No.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
So you're in Connecticut. Now you own the property in California, right? Someone's saying that someone in California is saying that Gina's throwing garbage outside. You're like, I'm in California. I mean, I'm in Connecticut. It's impossible.
Yeah.
What do you mean? That has nothing to do with me.
Yep.
Check the lease agreement. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like check the paperwork and find out if I'm actually doing things the right way.
Yeah.
But before you come at me.
Check the receipts. Yeah.
Check the receipts. It's 2024 at this point. Everything has a paper trail.
Everything. Yep.
Everything has a paper trail, and better yet, 4K, 8K. These TVs and these cameras are very, very good these days.
Yeah.
So like at the end of the day, you just put a camera up, right? And you put it up where the garbage is. You know what I mean? And then when they start littering, you fine them. And that's how you get your money back, right?
Yeah.
So like there are things that you could do that just don't need to be
Yeah.
like confrontation, and again, that's just one example of just like a situation in life, right?
Yeah, like a random, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just like things that could just kind of, come together. And I just think that, again, you could take that into life in general. We're not worried about the garbage in California. We're focused on what we got in front of us right here.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I think that's you pick up what I'm putting down there?
I'm picking it up.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think that we feel a pretty good pod today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I actually today. So what's the date today?
The 4th.
Today is August 4th, 2024. All right. We are actually releasing the video.
It should be up now, right? It's up now.
The video is up right now. So go check out our channel right now. We'll leave a link in the description.
Our video from last week.
Our video for last week. Yeah, go check it out right now.
I'll share it. When we get off this.
We'll share it. Currently, right now, when we leave here, we're going to be flooding it. We're going to be putting it everywhere. We put as much places as we can. We're going to drop it at least, on our Instagrams every hour or so. Just get it out there. And just thank you guys for listening. This is just a little side note. I've never really expressed myself like this, publicly. Gina knows my story. I've mentioned it in other podcasts before, but I think it's important for people to express what they would consider a vulnerability, right? Because once you take that quote unquote vulnerability and you could turn it around and turn it into a strength and turn it into a superpower. And I think that a lot of people think they have these weaknesses that aren't really weaknesses. A lot of people put these anthills in front of them, or these mountains in front of them that are just anthills. And I think that it's important to spread the message that you can accomplish anything that you put your mind to, right? And as corny as that sounds, you know what I'm saying, as cliche as that sounds, I want to express myself and express my vulnerabilities, which really, again, I think it's my superpowers to everybody. So you know that it's not a, you know, it's not, don't be embarrassed by it. You know what I'm saying? Flip it around and turn it into your strength and help people with that same issue. And I think that could, you could help change the world just like I'm trying to change the world, just like we're trying to change the world. So,
Yep.
Yeah, anything else, G?
No, I think that was awesome. I think how long have we been going for?
50 minutes. We got a 50-minute pod.
Yeah.
So again, thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel.
Oh yeah. Follow us on Instagram.
Yeah.
Right?
What are our handles? You know better.
Misunderstood Podcast 444 on Instagram.
Follow us right now.
We put out.
Hold on. What's it called again?
The Misunderstood Podcast 444.
That's Instagram.
That's Instagram.
Go right now, real quick. We'll give you guys 5 seconds. Hold on, real quick. We'll give you guys 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Now what's the next one?
In the intro, we'll have our individual handles.
Okay. After this.
For Instagram.
After this, we'll have a link in the description. Go give us a follow. Yeah, man. We'll
One more.
Go ahead. What else?
And we're sponsored by Norwich Fitness Center, so follow us there as well.
How about that? We are sponsored by ourselves, guys. We are sponsored by ourselves. Who is doing that? Who's doing that, guys? But we will have some ad reads in the future. I got a couple I want to read, so that'll be really awesome. And
one more thing.
One more thing, G. Go ahead.
If you're interested in sponsoring the podcast and you want to get your either business or whatever you guys do on here, let us know. Hit us up in the DMs, and we will work that in. And we appreciate the support as well.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next time. That's a wrap.
Bye.